Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Railroad Inc. unboxing. This is for the Dice expansion. This is video part 3. So hopefully you've checked out part 1 and 2 as well as the base game, so you know how the game works. These are just going to be the extra Dice expansions you can add into your regular games. Just to add some extra flavor, some different ruling. So much like the 2 sets that come with each one, the big difference in here is you're at add a lot more varying gameplays, but we can have some, like the Underground, which use all 4 dice and add almost a completely different game mode. We had Electricity and Sky, which added 2 dice each, just like normal, and we went over all of them. Then we also, in videos 1 and 2, we also went over Futuristic and Engineer, which added 3 different sets and 4 different sets of rules. So those are really fun. Some are ones you have to add in, some are things you may get to do, but they add a lot of unique variety to the game. So for the last one, we're going to go over Eldrich and Arcade. I believe Eldrich was originally part of the Kickstarter, so people that Kickstarted it may have gotten this one for free, and then they later added all the rest of these. But we decided to wait and push this one off to a video by itself, because each one of these adds 4 different expansion rules. So they're a little bit more involved to talk about. Alright, so let's start with Eldrich, which is basically Cthulhu-y horror stuff. So again, this might be one lots of people skip if it's not something interesting, but we'll jump into it. So we're going to start with our ritual guide. Like I've said in previous videos, I love the fact that all these guys are like different colors. They really help you figure out which one's which very fast. So we're going to have this purple, translucent purple with this like lime green, which is going to add different railways and roads that have portals on them. Or ritual sites on them, I should say. I shouldn't say portals because there's a portal set. There are different ritual sites. So add some different stuff there. So what does this do? It's hard difficulty with 6 rounds. Cultists are trying to create a madness network, a set of ritual sites connected to an evil dimension through portals. To create the biggest madness network will separate it from ordinary people of your cities. Each round you'll have an option to open new portals at the edge of the board and add a ritual to your madness network. At the end of the game, you'll gain points for your connected rituals and portals, but any exit that is connected to either of these will not count when scoring regular networks. When playing this expansion, apply these changes. 6 rounds. When you draw a route, you must draw the results to the ritual. When you draw routes, you must draw the result to the ritual dice, but it doesn't need to be connected to pre-existing routes, so you can put it wherever you want. At the end of the game, at the end of each round, you may draw 1 portal next to one of your country routes, i.e. routes with an open end connected to the outer edge of your board without an exit. So any space without the little arrow here, you can draw one of your portals by just drawing the road or whatever's coming off with a line around it. And then it says, at the end of the game, you gain points for each madness network, i.e. set of rituals and portals connected to each other using the networks. Values subtract to determine your score when counting exits. So you're gonna treat it like any other connection, like a regular railroad or road, but they only can be connected to each other. So like here it's showing here is this green one. They have portal, 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 and they connect all these roads together because there's at least 3 ritual sites. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Showing 6 for the roads. Next 3 portals and 3 rituals. Okay, so it's how many portals and rituals are connected, not the size of the roads. So we had 3 portals and 3 rituals. So we have 6 points there. That's showing the green. So it's not how many exits you get to, it's how many portals and rituals you can connect. It's showing we can't connect this one because they're regular exits and we don't count them. But we do also get 2 here for just connecting those 2 together as well. So that's definitely a fun little thing to do. That's it. It's as simple as that one. So as always, we're talking about portals, which is at the translucent purple and yellow dice. This is going to add portal spaces with A's, B's, and C's. So we have an A with a railroad, an A with a regular road, a B with a railroad, and a B with a road, and then C for each. And each one kind of has their different shapes, kind of swirls, X's, and then like stars, or like sun. So this one is easy difficult for 7 rounds. Reality has teared itself apart and immense holes are opening, showing glimpses of the unthinkable. Not all the supernatural will hurt or scare. You can safely travel networks by going through these portals of doom. Open portals connect to distant areas of your network as if they were next to each other. However, not all portals are the same. There are 3 kinds, marked with A, B, and C, and only 2 portals of the same letter are connected. They can never be more than 2 portals of the same kind on your board. When playing the portal expansion, apply these changes. So when drawing routes, you may draw the result of the portal dice and follow normal placement. If you have already drawn 2 portals with the same letter, you cannot draw a third one. So you can only connect an A connects to A, B to B, C to C, but you can't have A. Has to be. So if I have railroad A, I can place another railroad A, or I could place a highway A, but I can't place a third one regardless of which one it is. So I can have 2 railroads, 2 highways, or 1 highway, 1 railroad. Networks connected to the portals the same layer also connected to each other, even if you have a highway on one side and a railroad on the other. Portals do not interrupt the longest highways. So here we're showing we have from this exit going to A, coming out of A, going to that exit, counts as 1. And then we have C just coming straight off the end here to there. So this is definitely a good way if you have a long-running highway or railroad and you can't figure out how to get it somewhere else, or it's going to hit to a dead end. You could throw one of these portals out, and you might be able to connect it either to another existing one somewhere else, or directly to an exit like they did there. Yeah, so that's definitely fun. A fun little extra expansion you could throw in there. Up next, we have some tentacles. All right, so you have like green, like a green dye with yellow. It's definitely fun. So tentacles are definitely like Cthulhu or Eldrich related. So medium difficulty, 7 rounds. Tentacles are entering your safe oasis of sanity, but a little madness is okay. Try to have as many tentacles as possible in your territory and make people lose their minds while driving next to them. Each round, the tentacle die will tell you the length of the tentacle to draw that round. At the end of the round, you may add it to your board. If you do, you'll choose a starting position at its shape. The tentacles can share space with railways and highways. At the end of the game, gain points for each tentacle you drew, plus a bonus for each space occupied by both a tentacle and a highway or railway. So at the end of the round, after you draw your routes, you may draw 1 tentacle. When drawing a tentacle, you must start from the space on the outer edge of your board that does not contain edges. The tentacle must also have a length equal to the number on the die, 3, 4, or 5. It cannot be drawn partially. Tentacle drawing is a straight or curved stretches, mixed as you like. Tentacle can only be drawn into an empty space. These can be drawn as either straight or curved. Spaces that contain a straight route. These must be drawn as an underpass that crosses a pre-existing route perpendicular. And spaces that contain curves, they must be drawn as a curved. So it's saying that you can put them in any space, they just can't run over something that already exists. It says when drawing the final space of the tentacle, close it by drawing the ending tip. When you draw routes, on the other hand, you can't draw them in spaces that contain pre-existing tentacles. So you can add tentacles to spaces you already have, but you can't build a road next to where a tentacle is. At the end of the game, you get 2 points for each tentacle you drew, regardless of the length, plus 1 point for each route that contains both. So, like, here they're showing curved, you can go curved, or you can do the underpass or overpass. So here they're showing they drew the 3 going out that way, or you can draw one going like this, over that one, then through this one, and then these 2 now go over that bridge and then over another one, over that railway to the end. Or you can just curve it all the way around like that. Yeah, so definitely fun. And then you're going to gain 2 points because he has a tentacle, plus 1 point for each road or thing he connects to. So he gains 2 points immediately, then 1, 2, 3 more points there. So drawing longer tentacles can definitely be helpful because you might run into more things, but it can also block up your board a lot. So now if you look at this one, you've lost, like, it's connected to these spaces, great, but now you've lost all of this real estate space in there, which includes a building, or a housing, and a university. So you kind of gotta be risky on those. And there's the guy. 5, a 4, and a 3, and then 2 of each. I like how the 3 is a little bit smaller, the 5 or 4, and then the 5 goes a little bit crooked, like how they got a little bit bigger on each one. It's definitely kind of fun. Then the last guy we have for the Eldrich set is the investigation set, or the investigation guy. So medium, 6 rounds. Mysterious things are happening in your country. Send your investigators to collect clues that are appearing on the board and solve the case. Move your investigator on the top of the clues to collect it. If you collect all, you will solve the mystery and get points when the investigation expansion uses changes. So this one's a little bit weird. The game only lasts 6 rounds. Before rolling the die of the first round of the game, choose an exit and draw your investigator next to it, much like the figure to the left, or the right. When you draw routes, you may draw the investigation dice result. Following the normal placement, remember to also draw the magnifying glass. Do not draw the footsteps. At the end of the round, you may spend a number of movement points equal to the footsteps showing on the investigation die. Each movement point can be spent to perform one of the following actions. Move your investigator to an adjacent space connected to the starting space with a highway route, or move your investigator from a space with a station, or from a railway exit onto a space with a station connected to their starting space by one or more railway routes. When you're doing so, you have to stop at the first station you encounter along with your path. You cannot skip stations. So here we're going to have the guy, and you're going to see there's magnifying glass, which is the clue we're looking for, and this has 2 footsteps. We got a straight road. We have a cross one there. We have this one that has 3 with a station in the middle. This one only has 1 footstep. So there's a couple different options on there. So when you're moving your character, basically this is saying, if there's a railway, you can move 1 space per footstep. You have 3, you can move 3 spaces. They can walk through 3 highway spaces. Or if you have an investigator, or if you have a railway, if you're at a station, you can move from one railroad to a station or to the next thing. So essentially it's like they're walking down the highway, or if they hop on the railroad, they're taking the train, but they have to go all the way to a station or to the end of the railway. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. You may move your investigator, erasing from their current position, redraw them on their destination space. You don't have to do this for every step, just their ending spot. After you spent all your movement points. After spending movement points, your investigator lands on a space that contains a clue. Draw a circle around it to remember you collected that clue. You can collect more than 1 clue in a single round. At the end of the game, you'll gain 1 point for each clue you collected, plus 4 points if you collected all the clues. So there they're showing they have 3 movement points. So you're going to spend 1 to move from this rail end of the exit to the railroad station, spend 2 to go from station to station, and spend 3 to move 1 highway space over, and they gain that clue. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit interesting because it's, you're still trying to draw your railways and all that stuff, but you kind of got to pay attention to your placement, where your character is, and Make sure you play some extra stations. It's a little bit different, but unique. Something fun. So if you want a little bit of different stuff, this Eldrich has a little of everything for you. Alright, then for our final expansion is the arcade, which is probably the weirdest one of all of them. So there are the dice. So it's going to have 4 different game modes, essentially, that kind of are based off of classic arcade games. You can kind of tell what some of them are just by looking at them. Honestly, in my opinion, I saved this one for last because it's almost the weakest one of all of them, because the other ones are, I think, have a lot more, they make sense kind of what they're doing, either adding stuff to the city, like things that make sense, like extra roads, or you're adding weather conditions or hazards that might be coming, like the meteors maybe a little bit excessive, but there's like volcanoes and stuff, like all that stuff kind of makes sense. Even the Eldrich stuff, which is a little off, sort of still fits in. This one kind of goes off the rails a bit, but it's never always a bad thing. It's just a little bit different. So we're gonna start with Puckman. So we have, Pluckman. So we have the Pluckman guy, which are yellow and purple. Medium difficulty, 7 rounds. Draw Pluckman, Ghost, and Fruit next to your unused exits. At the end of the game, more ghosts you connect to Pluckman, the more bonus points you score, as long as Fruit is also connected to the same space to feed Pluckman the same energy needed to catch all the pesky ghosts. When playing Pluckman expansion, use these changes. 7 rounds as usual. When you draw routes, you must draw the result of the Pluckman die next to one of your unused exits. Any exit has nothing connected to it. If you have no unused exits, you cannot draw the Pluckman die for that round. At the end of the game, for each network you gain 3 points to that network with at least 1 Pluckman exit. If that network contains at least 1 Pluckman exit. Also, if it contains 1 or more ghosts. If it also contains 1 or more ghost exits, but no fruit, you lose 2 points for each ghost existing to that network. And then, if that network contains at least 1 fruit, you instead gain 2 points for each ghost in that network. The network contains only ghosts exits and or fruit exits, but no Pluckman exits, nothing happens. So this is kind of weird because you're going to place these things next to exits not actually on the board. So basically you're going to play the game like normal and then add these on the outside. So example 1 is showing I have a Pluckman, I gain 3 points. Then it's showing I also have 2 ghosts on the outside of the board. So I'm going to gain minus 2 points for each, which gives me a net total of negative 1 point. But if I have a third one that has a cherry in it, now I get Pluckman and I get plus 2 instead, so instead I gain 7 points. And it just has to be connected exits. It doesn't care how they're connected. Yeah, so very, very simple to do. Overall, it's kind of weird because it, like, realistically has nothing to do with the board. The regular game itself, other than having connected exits. I honestly would have thought it would have been more interesting if it would have been like you had to place these somewhere on the board. Like, and the idea would be like, Pluckman had to start at the outside, and then you had to run through each of these. So like, you'd have to, if you made it like more like Pac-Man, who's supposed to be based off of, if you made it so he had to run through a fruit first, and then he had to run through the ghosts. You had to place the fruit somewhere before the ghosts on a route that would connect, and then he could run through the ghosts to collect them, but if he ran through a ghost first, he lost points. So that's kind of like you have to connect your exits together, or your board together, but then you had to try and make sure you place these in the right order. I'm sorry, there's Pluckman. I think I showed the ghost earlier. So, out of the 6-sided die, there are 2 Pluckmans, there are 3 ghosts, and 1 cherry. So, getting that cherry is going to be very crucial. Alright, so that's the first expansion. A little bit weird, but it works, I guess. The next one we have up is the Tetrao dice, which is essentially Tetris. So you're gonna get like your regular, your Tetris-y shapes, you know, straight lines and Z blocks, L blocks, and the crosses, and then a square. So it looks like one of each different one, except for two of the Z blocks. Alright, so how is this one played? Difficulty easy. Are you ready for some next level urban planning? Declare where you're going to build in advance. If you respect the commitment, you gain points at the end of the game. If not, you lose points instead. When playing the Tetraminio? Whatever. Play 7 rounds. Before you draw any route, you may draw the result of the die. You still have to use all 4 dice. When you use the dice, you must enhance the empty space on your board following the same pattern showing on the dice. A small square around the white space can be used to mark the number of spaces. So they're showing the L space, but they have it upside down. So you freely rotate and you reverse the pattern. Just like regular routes, but you must use the full pattern showing. You cannot only use part of it. If you can't find a patch of empty spaces, you cannot use the die this round. At the end of the game, you gain 1 point for each enhanced space. It also contains something, either routes or other drawing elements. You lose 1 point for each empty space. So yeah, it's kind of neat. So it's very simple to add this one in there. You just draw the Tetris shape on the board somewhere. Then you have to put stuff in there. Now it can be routes. Now it says it can contain anything. So if you're playing railroads, you have your highways. You might have, for playing, like the Cthulhu set, which you might have a tentacle running through it. It doesn't matter as long as it's something in that space. So it's a very easy game just to add in to gain some extra points. Nothing too difficult. Alright, so that was the first one. Now I have to figure out where I threw the instructions for the second half. Oh, they're still in the box. Alright, the third die we have is the Galaxy Invaders dice, or, Galaga, or Space Invaders, probably. So this one is a little bit more difficult. The other two are, I'd say, very easy to add in. This one's a little bit trickier. So it says difficulty medium. Send aliens to attack your opponent while trying to defend against those that are invading you. There we go. When aliens attack, they destroy any structure in their space. Get rid of the aliens by drawing something in the same space as they're in. But beware, this will not work on aliens that have raised their shields. At the end of the game, you'll lose points for each alien left on your board. This is 7 rounds long. At the start of the game, each player draws 2 aliens on the board of the player to their right, in the bottom corner of 2 different empty spaces. So they're going to show them like that. 2 little alien ships, alien faces, however you want to look at them, whether it's a UFO or if it's actually alien. That's probably the alien. At the end of each round, roll the Galactic Invaders die and resolve its effect. The die is only rolled once and all players apply the same result. The Space Invader die has 3 types. I like how they call it Space Invader die here instead of Galactic Invader. Alien. Drawing alien in the bottom right corner of an empty space. On the player to the right, there can only be 1 alien per space. The attack die. First, all the aliens on your board activate their shields. You must draw a circle around each one of them to show it. Then each alien attacks, destroying everything in their space. You must erase everything in space except the alien. And then the nuke symbol. Choose 1 alien on your board, even with a shield, and erase it. So, we're going to get aliens, which will put them on your opponent's boards and mess with them. We will get UFOs, which could give them a little shield, and they destroy everything, and then the nuke lets you destroy them. So it says erasing alien, so you can erase an alien without drawing a shield by drawing anything in the same space the alien is. Aliens with a shield cannot be erased this way. So your opponent places an alien on the board, you want to place a building in that spot to get rid of it. It's the easiest way. If they have placed an alien in a structure you already have, you're going to want to nuke it to get rid of it. Otherwise, if it attacks, if it's already had a shield up, you can still place something there. It's just you can't destroy it. In the case of destruction or removal, contain a special building with the following rules in the special building down below. When you draw something on a space that contains an alien without a shield, you must erase that alien. Alien shield can instead only be erased with a nuke action. Any game lose 1 point for each alien remaining. So it says, aliens get a shield if they already have one. You must erase any structure drawn in that space. So that this one will destroy that, and that one we just did a shield. This is definitely an interesting concept because it's, adds an attack-based element to the game against your opponents. At least the nice thing is you're always attacking the same player. You're I guess kind of nice. You're always attacking the same player, so it's not like you can gang up on somebody. But on the other hand, is you don't get to retaliate against someone that's hurting you. So if the guy to your left is constantly placing things and destroying your buildings, you don't get to turn around and attack him back or defend against him. You can't do anything to him. So it's kind of interesting, a little bit different. Not terrible. This last one is I don't know, it's very odd. So it's called the Rainbow Die. So we're gonna have rain clouds, we're gonna have shamrocks, and we're gonna have rainbows. So how does the rainbow work? Medium difficulty, 6 rounds. It's kind of magical. Cars and trains are flying, colorful rainbows, and the enchanted creatures living underneath. Clovers harness the power of those rainbows, but now all is cupcakes and sprinkles. Dark colors work beyond the horizon. Draw colorful rainbows on your board and send ominous calls to your opponents. When playing the rainbow expansion, you use 6 rounds. At the start of each round, you must apply the effect shown on the rainbow die. Has 3 types. A rainbow. Draw a rainbow in one empty space on your board of your choice, or erase a rainy cloud from a space of your choice and replace it with a rainbow, as long as that space is not orthogonally adjacent to another space already contains a rainbow. So this is what gets weird, because it's basically saying you can't draw a rainbow next to another rainbow. Says you can't place a rainbow orthogonally existing a pre-existing one. So you can place rainbows on your board, you just can't place them next to each other. So you get a rain cloud. Draw a rainy cloud on the board of a player to your left. The rain cloud must be drawn in an empty space that is orthogonally adjacent to a pre-existing rainbow. If such a rainbow space does not exist, and only in that case, you can draw a rainbow cloud in any empty space. A rain cloud has no effect, it just occupies a full space. And then clover. Draw a clover in an empty space on your board. Network connections to the same space of the rainbow are also connected to each other. Rainbows interrupt the longest highway and railroads. So this is one of the few times they'll let you connect stuff together, but they'll interrupt your longest highway. So you can use it to connect the exits, but you can't use it to connect 2 things together. Come on, camera. Rainbows, rainy clouds, and clovers occupy the whole space. Nothing else can be drawn in that space. Open-ended routes leading into the space containing a rain cloud and or clover do not count as errors. So down there they're showing A is we have an exit here that's going to go through this rainbow, down through this one to connect there, and through that rainbow to connect there. Also connects from this one to there, through that rainbow, and through that one, and up through those. Those are all the A's. But now the longest one, it's only going to connect this railroad because it's not going to go through there to connect those 2. And then the top here just shows these guys connect by themselves. Yeah, so that's pretty easy. So more or less, they're just you get extra 2 points for having a clover next to a rainbow. So it helps you out there. You don't lose any points for having rain clouds at all. They just get in your way, is all it is. But the only thing that doesn't make sense, and maybe maybe the rules have been updated or something like that. I'm not sure. But I don't get the thing is it says, draw a rainbow in empty space on your board, or erase a rainy cloud from a space of your choice and replace it with a rainbow, as long as that space is not next to another space that contains a rainbow. So it's basically saying you can't place rainbows next to each other. Okay, I understand. That makes sense. But then it says, place a rain cloud on empty spaces orthogonally adjacent to a pre-existing rainbow. So someone places a rain cloud on your board, they have to place it next to a rainbow. But then rainbow says you can cover up that space unless it's next to a rainbow. So it's essentially saying you can't ever cover up a rain cloud. So I don't know if those are meant to be two separate statements. If it's supposed to be, you place a rainbow anywhere, just not next to another rainbow. But if there's a rain cloud, you can cover up the rain cloud without a problem. So it's kind of weird ruling. But yeah, it's an odd little mode. It's probably not one I myself would probably play that often. I'd probably play it just to see what it's like. But it's not one I think I'd run. I'd probably stick to some more of the regular like city ones versus some of these arcadey ones. But it's still fun to have. Every once in a while have like a fun little gimmicky thing. Alright, so that was the end of part 3 for all our expansions. We had Eldrich, Arcade, Engineer, Futuristic, Underground, Sky, and Electricity. So as far as I know, that's all the expansions they have. This game has been out for a while, so I haven't seen any new ones come out since then. Try to see if they have like a date down there. Maybe one of these maybe came out. Well, it says 2020, but these could be like reprints. Or maybe they just, I know they've released them all, but they could have all finished off in 2020. But even still, it's 2022 as of this video, so they haven't released anything new in 2 years that I know of. Although I don't know what else you could really add to this game outside of they have the challenge cards from the challenge sets. Is they let you do stuff with the different expansions. It would be kind of cool if there was a challenge pack for some of these as well. I don't know how they would all work because you have different setups, but that could definitely be a cool thing as well. Alright, so that's what I have for this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you like these roll and write games, let me know. I'll try and pick up some more and do some more. I have another one. I still have to do the zombie side one. So check that one out as well. See you guys later. Bye.